Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about my SAE study guide. Now, mine was on the U.S. space program and how it affected Florida. So, my actual standard was a fourth grade standard. It states, describe the effect of the U.S. space program on Florida's economy and growth. Now, the major social studies themes that I thought it fell under was time, continuity, and change, people, place, and environment, as well as science, technology, and society. Now, the space program drew high-tech industry to the state and created a climate of innovation that Florida strives to maintain. High-tech and global industries are an important part of Florida's economy, so this was really important. Now, I'm going to begin with Cape Canaveral. This was a very well-suited location for one of America's spaceports. It was very sparsely populated, and railroads and ships could bring the materials to build the launch pad and space station. Now, the Caribbean islands were also near enough for monitoring and communication stations, so this was very beneficial as well. Now, a little bit about Kennedy Space Center. NASA established a new Space Launch Center in 1962, which was Kennedy Space Center. But originally, it wasn't named this until a year later. President Johnson decided that in honor of the assassinated president, that he would dedicate this to John F. Kennedy. Now, one of the greatest successes witnessed at the Kennedy Space Center was the successful development and repeated launching of reusable orbiting spacecraft, the space shuttles. Now, a major thing that went on relating to the space program was actually the space race, and this is the main thing that I focused on. First, in 1957, the space race was between Soviet Union and the United States. Now, in 1957, the Soviet Union launched their first man-made satellite into space. Now, this was a very big deal at that time. The U.S. basically watched as they saw the satellite blinking in the sky, and after this, U.S. politicians as well as American public decided that they could feel the pressure and decided that we needed to catch up and invest in rocket technology and aeronautics. So, October 1st, 1958, President Eisenhower established National Aeronautics and Space Administration, which is referred to as NASA. Now, from 1961 to 1964, NASA's budget was increased by 500%, and the lunar landing program eventually involved about 34,000 NASA employees and 375,000 employees of industrial and university contractors. So this really created a lot of jobs for people in the United States. Now, about 1969 of July is when the world actually watched Neil Armstrong take the first step on the moon. And at this point in time, the U.S. had won the space race. The Soviets made 4 failed attempts to launch a lunar landing craft between 1969 and 1972, as well as a spectacular launch pad explosion which happened in July 1969. Now, basically after this point, astronauts became seen as the ultimate American heroes of the United States, and earthbound men and women seemed to enjoy living through them. Now, to go on to a little bit more about the space program, after the successful Apollo launches and the change in direction of NASA's mission and goals, obviously since the space race is over, it's going to change, but it's still thousands of native Floridians and recruited workers stayed following decades of serving the nation's drive to explore space. Now, after 5 decades of this space development, Florida remains one of the nation's centers for technology and manufacturing industries, as well as still serving as the home of the world's most significant spaceport. Now, on the technology side of things, the space age changed Florida forever, drawing thousands of new workers to the state and transforming Cape Canaveral into a hub of aeronautics, electrical design, as well as manufacturing. So it was a really important time. For the future, NASA still has a program of exploration, technology development, and scientific research that should last for years to come. Now, some lesson ideas based on this subject. In standard, I thought it would be nice to maybe have the students create a KWL chart. They can brainstorm everything that they know about the space program. For the jigs, there's a jigsaw thing that the students could do. The students would be split into groups and will basically read different articles related to the future of the space program. Each group will share with the class what they learned from the article that they read. Now, also portfolios I thought would be a great idea depending on how long you stay on to this topic. They can include activities, projects, and assignments and put it all into a portfolio. A timeline would be great for this social studies standard. They can they can make a timeline of the progress of the space program in the state of Florida. Now, the students also could create a poster about one major event that happened in the state of Florida regarding the space program, so I thought that would be cool. And then I also have a poem that I created, and it's very short and simple. It is NASA Unforgettable Hope, Racing, Developing, Enhancing, Determination for a Future Growth. And that is basically the synopsis of my SAE study guide. Now I have both my full guide and my handout on my wiki page if you'd like to go ahead and look at that. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.